weird substance. 87.6 thousand of it. I've never seen this stuff before in my life. And it has just unlocked something I didn't even know was in the game. Mazes. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's go back to the start. So this is the farmer was replaced. You don't farm. You write Python and the code does the farming for you. And over the last 6 episodes, we've built up a proper little machine. There's a controller sat at the top that decides what the farm should be doing at any moment. If we're low on cactus, it runs the cactus sort. If power climbs high enough, it flips over to pumpkins. Otherwise, it runs main, plant, water, harvest, repeat. And every time it switches jobs, it wipes the field first, so it isn't trying to plant carrots on top of half-grown pumpkins. That's where we left it last week. It works, it ticks over, it looks after itself. Today we're doing 2 things. First, we're making the farm bigger, 16 by 16. And second, we're feeding it fertilizer. And if you're new here, this is a Python series wearing a farming game as a disguise. New episode every Wednesday. Hit subscribe and you'll get the rest of it. Right, let's make the farm bigger. Now here's the thing I want you watching for. I am not rewriting a single line of code to do this. Not one line. And that's not luck. That's a decision I made about 5 episodes ago, and it is the single most useful habit in this entire series. Every time this code needed to know how big the field was, I had a choice. I could type the number in. 12, 16, whatever it happened to be that week. Or I could ask the game, get underscore world underscore size. Every loop in this file says, for I in range, get underscore world underscore size. Not one of them says, for I in range 16. That number I could have typed, that's what programmers call a magic number. And it works absolutely fine, right up until the day it doesn't. And then it doesn't break in one place. It breaks in 9 places at once. And you're hunting every one of them with the thing on fire. So I'm going to buy the grid expansion and the code should just follow. There we go, bigger field. And straight away the game throws a caution at me. Which is fair enough. The world just changed size underneath a program that was already running. So restart the controller. And it comes up on the cactus sort first because we're low on cactus. Clean run. It walks the whole field. Sorts the lot. No complaints. Cactus stock full. Controller resets. Drops into main. And main is just getting on with it. Trees on the checkerboard. Grass on the near rows. Carrots out the back. Watering as it goes. 16 by 16. 256 tiles. And it hasn't missed one. Power climbs past 5,000. And it flips over to pumpkins. Now I want to stop here for a second because something's about to happen that looks like a bug. And absolutely isn't. Watch. It goes quiet. The drone's still moving. The game is definitely still running. But nothing's harvesting. Nothing's coming in. The numbers have just stopped going up. If you were sat over my shoulder right now, you'd be telling me it's broken. It's not broken. The farm is resting. It's run out of water and it's sitting there gathering it back up before it can carry on. And I'm leaving this bit in the video on purpose because this is what real automation actually looks like. It is not a constant stream of fireworks. Most of the time, a system that is working perfectly is a system that is waiting for something. And the thing it's waiting for isn't my code. My code is fine. It's water. That's the bottleneck. And you cannot fix a water problem by writing a cleverer loop. You fix it by getting more water. That's a genuinely useful instinct to build. Before you go and optimize anything, find out what it's actually waiting on. 9 times out of 10, it isn't the bit you were about to rewrite. Right, it's got its water back. Off it goes. And there it is, 16 by 16. Running clean, holding steady. Same code, bigger grid. Not one line rewritten. I bought the field. The code asked the game how big it was, and the game told it. That's the whole trick. Right, fertilizer. I teased this last episode and then didn't use it. Now we use it. Use underscore item, items.fertilizer, and note the spelling. It's the American Z. That function does exactly one thing. It takes whatever plant the drone is standing on and it knocks 2 seconds off its grow time. That's it. That's the entire function. 2 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, but run that across 256 tiles over and over, and it stops being a bit quicker and starts being a completely different farm. So I'm going to drop it straight into main, right next to where we plant. And indent error. Right, I'm leaving this one in too, because if you're learning Python, this is the error you will hit more than any other, by an absolute mile. So here's what's actually gone wrong. Python doesn't use curly brackets to work out what belongs to what. It uses where the line sits, how far in it is. That's it. That's the whole system. The indentation isn't decoration, it's the grammar. And when I pasted that block in, it landed too far to the left. It's sitting outside the if j is not equal to 0, which means Python is looking at it going, I don't know what this belongs to. You've handed me a line and you haven't told me whose line it is, and the fix isn't clever. The fix is push it in. 4 tabs, level with if can harvest. Now it's inside the if, sat with everything else in that block, and Python knows exactly where it lives. One more thing on this, and it catches people out constantly. Don't mix tabs and spaces. On your screen they look identical. To Python, they are completely different characters and it will refuse to run. Pick one and stick to it. This file is tabs. So tabs, fixed, rerun the controller. Cactus sort, clean, into main. And there it is. Fertilizer firing, trees, grass, carrots, every crop the drone stands on, it feeds, except the sunflowers. And I want to be really clear about that because on camera it looks like the fertilizer is failing. It isn't failing. I chose that. Sunflowers grow almost instantly in this game. There's nothing to speed up. Fertilizing a sunflower is like blowing on a match that's already lit. Pumpkins are off the list too, but for a completely different reason. Pumpkins have to merge into one giant mega pumpkin, and if you fertilize them, you contaminate that merge. You end up with a field of ordinary pumpkins instead of the one big payout. So no fertilizer on pumpkins. And cactus. Cactus grows in 1 second. Taking 2 seconds off a 1 second job gets you precisely nothing. So it's trees, grass and carrots. That's where fertilizer earns its money. Now, one rule, and this one will absolutely catch you out if nobody tells you. Fertilize before you water, never after. Because user underscore item fertilizer has a side effect that nothing in the game warns you about. It sets the groundwater straight back to 0. So if you water the tile first and then fertilize it, you've just thrown away every single drop you poured. Gone. And you don't get an error. You don't get a warning. The code runs perfectly and quietly does the work twice for no reason. That is the nastiest kind of bug there is. Not the one that crashes. The crash tells you where it hurts. The one that runs beautifully and silently wastes your time. So in the code, the fertilizer line goes above the water loop. Fertilize, then water. That order every single time. Right, let it run. One pass. 16 by 16. 21,000 weird substance. 21,000. Off a field I didn't rewrite. Running a loop I didn't change. With one extra line pasted into the right place. And that number unlocks mazes. So there it is. The maze is open. Brand new mechanic straight out of nowhere. And there is exactly one problem with it. The drone has absolutely no idea how to get through it. It can plant, it can water, it can harvest, it can sort an entire field of cactus into perfect order, and it cannot find its way out of a corridor, which means next week we're not farming. Next week we're writing a Pathfinder. That's episode 8. It's the hardest one yet, and honestly it's the one I've been waiting for since episode 1. Playlist linked below. Subscribe so it lands when it drops. And put a comment down with how you'd get the drone through that maze. I want to know if anyone beats me to it. See you Wednesday. If you're finding these episodes useful, please like and subscribe to my channel. And remember, turn those notifications on so you get notified when the next episode is dropping.